I remember telling you guys at the start of last football season, as soon as the season actually started, that there was something comforting, soothing during difficult times of just seeing Cordero Patterson with a football. And I had a similar feeling yesterday of soothing and comfort during these difficult times because Mohamed Sanu is a Miami Dolphin.
What? You're lying.
I'm not lying.
I think you are.
I'm not lying. I had to double check it. I had to make sure I wasn't getting ball sacked. I expect at some point during the season that he will compete with Tua for the starting quarterback job.
He has like the highest QB rating of all time, I believe, Mohamed Sanu.
Still?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable gadget play guy.
The thing about Tua that is, to me, making him one of the most interesting players in the league, Stugotz, already, and it's crazy to me that the addition of Tyreek Hill is what makes this so. But Pro Football Network,
Mohamed Sanu still has a perfect quarterback rating.
what are the stats? What are the he's thrown how many times?
He is 7 of 8 for 233 yards and 4 touchdowns. No interceptions. 158.3 quarterback rating.
It's like a Sonny Cumby stat line.
Pro Football Network points out that last year Tua was 21st at his position in fantasy points and calls him a chaos player in fantasy that can make or break your season. I love the designation of chaos player, which is also we don't have any idea what's going to happen. Is what is the analysis of this is so confounding, so difficult to do that people don't know whether he will make or break your season because they don't know whether he's going to be a statistical monster or whether he's going to be 21st at his position. But Mike Tannenbaum, former Dolphins general manager, says that all of this praise from Tyreek Hill to Tua is going to have a negative impact and has had a negative impact on Tua.
Oh. How does he know? Just out of curiosity. I mean, Mike Tannenbaum.
He thinks that it's putting too much pressure on a quarterback. I'd make the argument that the pressure on Tua this year is at the maximum of where pressure can be.
Of course it is.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter where Tyreek Hill, what he says.
Are you saying this is a make it or break it year for Tua?
We've all said it.
Yeah.
Even Tyreek Hill has said it. Tyreek Hill has gone out of his way to say this. Do you agree with the idea of this?
You also called him Patrick Mahomes. I mean, make up your mind.
But it could be both.
No, but if you're Patrick Mahomes and you think that your quarterback has that skill set, this is not indeed a make it or break it season.
Okay, but he's not. He doesn't actually think Patrick Mahomes has that skill set. He didn't call him Patrick Mahomes. I think you're misquoting him.
He said he was better.
He said he's the most accurate quarterback in the league. He says his accuracy is better.
Yeah, which was perceived by Chiefs Nation as a direct shot at Patrick Mahomes.
Saying that Tua's accuracy is better than Mahomes is a criticism.
Hey, you don't say that.
You don't say that.
You don't say that if
You
you're
don't say anything.
You don't.
Right.
You
Well,
just,
I need to go. Stugotz, I need to. We're talking to the wrong people. I've got in front of me. You and I are not Dolphin experts or football experts, even though God bless football and stupidity are football excellence personified. Mike Ryan fancies himself a football
number
expert.
one football podcast, some
But,
say.
Thank you.
We
Sports
don't
Podcast
have.
Awards and
well,
With
you-
the Duke, I mean.
the Duke. Thank you for mentioning him because I have in front of me The Guardian, an international publication that is very popular, has put out again its top 10 list of the NFL's best analyzers. Number 10, Aqib Talib.
Nice.
too low, Dan?
Too low, and especially low when you consider that number 9 is David Sampson.
Interesting.
What?
David Sampson of Nothing
Is there
Personal.
an explanation or
There
anything?
is. I will read it to you. Sampson is the former team president of MLB's Miami Marlins, who now hosts Nothing Personal on CBS. Sampson is a controversial figure in Florida. He was one of the pioneers of using the public purse to fund the plaything of billionaire owners, drawing financing from the Marlins Stadium from taxpayers' money, and he is still used as a sounding board by ownership groups looking to drain as much money from the taxpayer as possible. Since leaving the Marlins, Sampson has carved out a lane as the premier voice covering sports business and the internal operations of franchises in the U.S. and beyond. Former executives operate under a code of omerta. They don't want to reveal trade secrets or criticize former colleagues and rivals in case they're invited back into the inner sanctum. Sampson is different. He revels in revealing the underbelly of big-time sports, whether it's the NFL's internal politics, stadium financing, the dynamics of governing a locker room. Sampson provides intel that is often withheld from the public.
Well,
Was there football mentioned in that, by the way?
Sold.
Can you reread the final sentence of paragraph 1, please?
I will, but the football mention is whether it's the NFL's internal politics, stadium financing, the dynamics of governing a locker room. Sampson provides intel that is often withheld from the public. That's the football part. And he is still used as a sounding board by ownership groups looking to drain as much money from the taxpayer as possible.
You read well, Dan.
Thank you, Stugotz. Number 8, Pat McAfee.
Deserving.
Number 7, Greg Rosenthal, Dan Hansis, and Mark Sessler. Around the NFL. From The Athletic, number 6. This was Billy Gill's spot and a big surprise last year. Deontay Lee.
Who?
Oh, man.
D. Lee.
Lost my spot.
Number 5, Billy Gill.
He dropped a dookie.
What does his blurb say?
It has been a banner 18 months for Billy Guillermo Gill of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. The NFL owns Sundays, but it's Gill who owns post-game Mondays. His weekly useless sound montage, a rundown of the finest coachisms and robot player cliches, remains brilliant. Away from the orbit of the Walt Disney Company, a league partner, Gill is free to tackle the league from fresh angles. He was the defining voice of the first NFL musical, The Big Game, a musical about head trauma. Brandon Staley and the Red Zone's witching hour shouldn't work, but it certainly exists.
He dropped a dookie.
Gill is also
Number 5.
the co-host of the Indomitable Stupidity podcast, where he covers the league through conversations with the great and good, including Jabba Chamberlain, Greg Cody, and Kenny G. As ever with Gill, hand him whatever ingredients you like and stand back and watch him cook.
Wow.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's time for a holdout, huh?
We've never had Kenny G on. I mean,
Number 4, Dominique Foxworth. I was hoping you'd finish ahead of him.
I love Dominique.
He's great.
great, yeah.
I'm coming for him, though.
No, you are. Number 3 from the New York Times, Jenny Vrentas.
Yep.
Number 2, Mina Kimes.
Makes sense.
And number 1, Bomani Jones.
Oh, wow. Thought that would be me.
You have failed to make this list.
It's all right. As long as Billy makes it, I'm happy. If Billy's happy, I'm happy. A happy Billy is a happy Stugotz. That's how it works. I mean, seriously. Number 5, he's deserving. Billy's excellent. He really is. His football, listen, he's the guy who said Aaron Rodgers was tanking. He's the guy who said something's off in Kansas City, and something indeed was off in Kansas City. Give credit where credit is due.
Tom Brady's coming back.
Exactly. Billy nailed everything. And as long as he's happy at number 5, I am happy not being on that list.
Mike, you have been saying, I don't believe that you're happy not
Well,
being on the
stupidity was
list.
mentioned.
Very
Yeah.
upset.
Julio Jones, a lot of people have been saying he's washed. I think he gets decidedly less washed given that he's going to Tampa. I can't
Or
believe
less washed now.
I can't believe that Tom Brady gets to be a fountain of youth for everybody.
It's amazing. You should get Beckham too. I mean,
Julio Jones, I know he was injured, and what happened to his foot, it was a mangled mess. You know how they always say, and surgery was successful. That wasn't the case for Julio Jones. It was amazing that he had the production that he had after that injury. But last year he battled through it, and he just looked like a shell of himself. It'd be quite the rejuvenation, but why not go with a massive rejuvenation?
It seems to me, correct me if you guys think that I'm wrong, because this isn't going to be about Bruce Arians. We used to think, Stugotz, even though it was wrong, even though Ocho Cinco went there and failed, Albert Hainsworth went there and failed, we used to think, well, if the Patriots get him, whoever it is, then that person is going to become a special person.
yes.
Kyle Rudolph and Julio Jones, I believe people now expect something from them because Tom Brady took that with him. On offense,
Well, Tom Brady expects something from them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. I mean, that's really all that matters.
and
right?
the way that I look at it, I don't know whether or not Julio Jones can, because of injury, go from as dominant as he was to not just a shell of himself, Mike, pretty useless. The Packers were said to be interested here. I thought they could have helped Aaron Rodgers at various points during the last couple of seasons. I thought they might trade for Julio Jones if he was available. But the thing to me that's most fascinating about what Tampa Bay is doing, because now it's no longer Arians, is it really does feel, whether it's Kyle Rudolph or Julio Jones or Cameron Brate or Rob Gronkowski, that what they're saying here is get me a big body and put the hands in a place, and Tom Brady will just throw it to that place. And Julio Jones is going to be hard to cover if a cornerback has to climb up on top of his shoulders to get around him, that he doesn't have to get really open. He just have to have his hands in a certain place 9 yards downfield.
I think the Duke Crack in top 5 made you want to double down on your own expertise when it comes to the sport, because my hot take on the Julio Jones matter is this isn't an Antonio Brown replacement. They signed Russell Gage. I don't even think they're going to line him up outside. I think this is just as much a Gronk replacement as Kyle Rudolph was. I think they'll line him up inside, and they'll target him in the back of the end zone and use what he still has, which is a very big frame.
Does the 5th-ranked international insider on All Football Matters have an opinion on Mike Tannenbaum saying that it is a negative impact on Tua, the way that Tyreek Hill continues to gas up his publicly gas up his quarterback with optimism and hope?
Nah.
Dropped a dookie.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's how he makes the list. You're not on the list.
That's correct.
I'm not on the list.
I mean, you got your podcast in there. I am not
But
on the list.
Ceci made it. Sessler. I mean, how about that guy? Who is that guy?
He's a top 10 football insider.
All right.
I continue to feud from the outside with Jacksonville fans who continue to pelt us with rocks and garbage.
Pelt you, man. Like, leave me out of this. Jacksonville's happy with me. They're fine. They know what I have done to help Tony Baselli get into the Hall of Fame. And they know if I'm in the friends and family section that I will show up to Canton on a directee.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows.
Tony
you
knows
don't know
it.
that. You don't know that. Right
You're
now,
right. Yes.
As we stand now, 10
in
days
fact,
out,
I think I
you
have
don't
something
know.
that day. I do. Lake Placid. I'm not sure. I got to check the calendar.
Lake Placid.
Yeah, there's some lacrosse tournament going on up there. I mean,
I saw the calendar. Lake Placid is like 2 weeks after or 2 weeks before.
Is your daughter in college
it's
already?
unfortunate.
Why are we still doing lacrosse tournaments? Your daughters are gone.
These are commit tournaments, okay? They're not, travel high school tournaments. This is when the Northwestern 22 class and the Northwestern class of 23 play together against other schools' 22s and 23s. It's exciting. Like, they're in the uniforms. It's like you feel like they're playing for Northwestern, even though they haven't, taken a class there yet. And I wonder if Rachel will ever take a class there. I mean, just thinking about it.
But it is not the date of Canton. It is not. It is not the date of
You
the
never
Hall
know.
of Fame. No, I do know. It's in the
There's
calendar.
a way to know. What are the dates?
It's in the calendar.
I haven't looked yet, but
Lake Placid is different dates than that. The thing that I was saying about Jacksonville,
There is
though,
a frustrating amount of stuff that is totally in your control that you're just bypassing.
I know.
I mean, that's not new. In what way is that new? That's
Let me
always
check the calendar. Right now.
one of the best things to ever happen around here was him losing a bet on the color of car he would buy. The guy,
I said white, right?
you said you were going to buy
Who
a
wants
car.
a white car?
Was
I mean, I can't believe I said that. Seriously. It's dirty. I mean, Abby didn't want it. I mean,
a bet that you did not pay, I might add.
Really?
Which is the only kind you make.
How much do I owe you?
But the Jacksonville fans, I believe it was $100. The Jacksonville fans who are mad
You'll never see it.
at me because of things Stugotz has done, and I have only done sarcastically. Now, as I tell Jacksonville that I'm thinking about putting up billboards in Jacksonville that read Tony Baselli is not a Hall of Famer, somebody writes in, try that shit, and you're going to get a few hundred trash cans sent to your studio. And I don't know why he'd threaten me by sending the Jags down here. I've never heard that threat before. We need trash cans.
The person really set themselves up.
Yeah, please send.
Send them to the garage.
We need trash
them.
cans.
I would orchestrate a cleanup day in the garage if you sent 100 trash cans and get this place cleaned up finally.
Be careful. Our listeners are crazy. They've sent fridges and stoves. We don't actually want 100
do not
Jags
want
here.
your
Do not
trash
send
cans.
any Trevor Lawrence's here. Do not send
Big
anything.
things, year two.
What?
Yeah, big things, year two.
What does the insider think?
Tony Khan is very high on Trevor Lawrence here too, and he has never steered us wrong.
I erred in not making fun of him yesterday about all the praise that he gave Urban Meyer. We've made some fun of him about that, but
we had him post-firing. And it was very much a, my bad.
He loved Urban.
Yeah, I was
though.
wrong. Missed that one. We're all entitled to those.
Forget which Jag yesterday was asked, so what's the difference between Doug Peterson and Urban Meyer? And he just goes, it's a professional environment now. we get communicated to like adults.
I don't think many people are expecting very much from Trevor Lawrence.
Mike is.
He showed precious little last year. The thing I wanted to ask you about what Tannenbaum.
Doug Peterson, Dan.
Yep.
Super Bowl caliber winning coach.
Whisperer.
Yeah.
Was the Urban Meyer video thing one of those, like, you remember where you were when you saw it moments of last season?
Oh my God! For the rest of my life, I wanted to take a field trip to the now no longer Urban Meyer's Draft House. They rebranded it. It was like a scene of the crime. It's like if something terrible happened at a place, you can't keep calling it that place. It's been totally rebranded.
I remember exactly where I was. I was in the car with my dad driving home from South Bend, and we were stopping to get Andy's custard when the videos came on Twitter and all hell broke loose. And I was like kind of looking at my phone going, oh my God. And my dad was like, what's going on? And I was like, I just watch it. I don't want to describe this to you.
That's an awkward video to watch with your parent. I was on my couch losing $350 on Eastern Michigan.
I'm going to miss him. He carried us through the first half of the season. Do you know how much fun it is for America to watch sports just to watch one person suffer? That does not happen very much. And it is when Jessica says, I remember where I was, the same way that I would say of like Reagan assassination attempts and the Challenger blowing up as a social media.
Or Leitner's shot.
As a social media sports thing, it was a magical, because of the person involved and because of the crime and because of the voyeuristic gotcha video, it's just a perfect thing for people to start gossiping about.
There's a few of those in the last couple of years, like the Rudy Gobert thing, the insurrection, Urban Meyer at the Tap House.
I don't, in a divided America.
Insurrection and Rudy Gobert.
The Rudy Gobert one's good.
Actually
Because
a
that
good one,
happened.
yeah.
It was
I
like
had the
Tom Hanks and
worst
Gobert.
Stress heartburn of my life that night watching that.
Wait, Mike, you remember where you were when he tweeted out that he had it, Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, I was on my couch watching the world burn. Yeah, losing $350 on Pacific basketball.
Jesus.
It happened at a divided time, right? We've been a very divided country, and not since George W. Bush's first pitch at the World Series has America been so united behind one cause, and that cause was laughing at Urban Meyer.
The sports things that she mentions, we could put together a pretty good list of things here. If we're talking social media age, last 3 or 4 years, you remember where you were when X happened because it started spreading and there was I've got to tell my friends about this stupid piece of gossip because can you believe that the worst case scenarios that everyone had for Urban Meyer have been exceeded by leaps and bounds. He's not going to make it through a year, and his scandals are going to look unlike any you've ever seen from a professional football coach because that kind of shit doesn't happen to Dave Campo.
Wait, I thought Dave Campo was a naked guy on his boat.
No, that's McElwain, isn't it?
No, Jim McElwain was a guy humping the shark, allegedly.
Right.
Not naked, though.
Yeah.
Right.
That was one of them.
The person in the reflection kind of looked like Dave Campo. We forget about the naked guy on the boat thing. It didn't even crack the top 5 Urban Meyer scandals. He kicked his kicker. He didn't know anything about he wanted 400 yards of rushing offense and 200 yards of passing offense. Man, what a time.
Let's talk more about the naked guy on the boat. So he was doing what? Just a college football interview of some sort?
Yeah,
and in the background
Fox.
you could see in the mirrors there was just a naked guy walking around.
There was a naked guy, or at the very least a shirtless guy who looked like maybe there was some puffing of the Magic Dragon. God, that's a dated reference. Mm-hmm. And you could see a panicked Urban Meyer kind of shoo him out of the way. But what Urban Meyer didn't know was behind him was a mirror, and you could see the Dave Campo lookalike really reveling and giving Urban Meyer this embarrassment.
Does Jim McElwain's shark incident rise to the level of social media moment in sports that a lot of people suddenly were talking about?
You'll be happy to know that we are hard at work crafting a top 5 for this, Dan.
What do you mean you're crafting it? I thought we'd go back into the files back there and we would have something. We didn't get that as part of our library.
Organic. I do have one in the file right now, but I don't know. Did you guys? There's a UFC card coming up. I got a top 5 here.
You sounded bored by that.
know.
I don't want your bored top. I don't want your bored top 5.
Well,
UFC
no, this is
thing.
a great top 5 with a ton of OLI. This is something that I think I'm going to open your eyes to a lot of nicknames that you didn't know. Because over the weekend, Dan, in London, I don't know if you saw the UFC event. It was a pretty good event. Second consecutive UFC event where there's an unfortunate injury and it totally diffuses what should be an electric main event. But there was a Patty the Batty. There was a Bear Jew.
Wow.
There were great nicknames featured on this card, and it got me thinking of the greatest nicknames in MMA history, Dan. So let's go outside looking in.
Before you get to that, Tony, what are you guys doing on Saturday? Is it you and Juju? Who else is going to be partaking?
Juju, if Chris Cody, we can find him wherever he may be. Lewis, too, MMA Hangout. We're actually talking to bantamweight champion Juliana Pena on Thursday as well, so that'll be out on YouTube. But yeah, join the boys 10 o'clock for the UFC 277 main card.
Please stop shaking your microphone.
It's a table.
It's got a wobbly table, Dan.
Oh, for the love of God. We can't afford a table that's not
No.
wobbly.
Someone send us 100 tables.
The problem is that it's on a U-line, what's it called, catalog. So, it lost a leg, so it's being balanced on half. Oh, it lost both.
It's on a glasses case on the other side.
So one side is on a glasses case, the other side is on a corporate catalog.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture. That's important.
Good professionalism. That is the video department. Any complaints you have, any trash cans you want to send them to that corner of the room.
It'll hold up their desks,
All right, outside looking in.
Exciting.
We have Chuck, the Iceman Liddell. We have Crow Cop. Crow Cop is fun to say. We have Quentin Rampage Jackson. His nickname is Rampage, and I believe he actually went on one time. Yeah, there was a police chase.
It was in the streets.
Yeah.
Wasn't it in a car with his face on it?
It might
This
have
is all
been.
ringing a bell. Is that on your list? We'll find out later. Outside looking in, final name, Jeff Scary Nickname Nader.
Excellent.
Yes, his
Excellent.
nickname was
Yeah.
Scary Nickname.
Rampage is also excellent. Whittingham, would you be courteous enough to find for us the details of Rampage Jackson's incident in the streets that may or may not have involved a vehicle with his face on it?
All right, here we go.
To tell.
Top 5.
It's going to make it easy for the police to find you.
Top 5 best MMA nicknames. Number 5, John Bones Jones.
Really? It's your
Yeah.
list. I'm sorry. It's your list.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Number 4.
He's being helped. He's being aided there by how great he is, correct? It's not just
It's
the
fun,
nickname.
it's fun to say. If you refer to somebody by their nickname regularly, you don't do that with BJ Penn, Prodigy. You don't do that with George St. Pierre,
Right.
Rush. Do that with Bones Jones.
Right.
So with his greatness, when right, pound for pound, maybe the greatest fighter we've ever seen inside the octagon.
He's being helped by Jones.
Yeah, because Bones
Right.
rhymes with Jones.
Exactly.
That's how that one works.
Yep.
Number 4, Rick, the ginger with intent to injure Pfeiffer.
So good.
Number 3 is so good that I don't actually know this fighter's real name because he's always marketed as the Korean Zombie. You don't know his name? Look, Tony
idea what
follows the
his
sport, doesn't know his name because it's always blank versus
Zombie.
Korean Zombie.
Well, he was just Tony. He was just stripped down, right? He's less scary now because the last time he fought, he looked less like a zombie and more like the dead.
His name is Jung Chan Sung.
It also matched his fighting style. You could not kill the Korean Zombie. He would just keep coming. He was undead. So, great nickname.
I also have an update on the Quinn Rampage Jackson story. This is from a TMZ story in 2008. The Orange County District Attorney has charged Rampage with 1 felony count of evading while driving recklessly, 1 felony count of evading a peace officer, 3 misdemeanor counts of hit and run, and 1 misdemeanor reckless driving. You recall Rampage was driving a monster truck with a huge image of himself plastered on the side, parenthetically, always a bad move when you're evading police, when he allegedly struck 2 cars on a freeway, hit another car on a surface street, and sent pedestrians scurrying for their lives.
You read good.
Number 2.
The Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine.
Yes.
Rhyming is key to all of
It
these
is,
nicknames.
you
it seems.
must, as you'll see with number 1. But the Dean of Mean, Keith
The
Jardine.
ginger with the intent to injure is
Yeah.
hard to beat.
Nobody brought the house down in the second fight of a UFC card quite like the Dean of Mean, Keith Jardine. And number 1, Michelle Watterson, the Karate Hottie.
4 of the 5 are simply rhymes.
You have to rhyme. All of them. I mean,
No,
except for
no,
Korean
that's a
Zombie, who
zombie.
we didn't know.
He's
We
undead.
didn't know his
He's-
name.
right.
And it's a tip of the hat because you just go by your nickname. Yeah, incredible. That's a GOAT nickname, but it's not number 1. Number 1 is a Karate Hottie.
I want to ask you guys which of the headlines I'm about to read is the better headline from Black Sports Online. And you got to be careful with some of the stuff with Black Sports Online.
BSO.
The headline, Johnny Manziel's ex-wife gives birth to Nick Cannon's 8th child, live on YouTube.
Johnny Football.
Hold on. You just threw a lot at me, Dan.
Yes, I did, but I'm not done throwing stuff at you because this is one. I'm throwing one at you.
Let's say that one again.
Johnny
Yeah.
Manziel's ex-wife gives birth to Nick Cannon's 8th child, live on YouTube. Or Von Miller's baby mama gets a new Vonnie neck tat after she covered up her old Vonnie tat after he prayed for her to miscarriage, called her an embarrassment for dating Bull Bull, and she snitched to NFL about him doing coke.
Why was it live on YouTube?
Good question.
I think Nick Cannon wants everyone to know when he's having babies. I believe 8 is not him finished. I believe there might be 1 or 2 other women who are also pregnant. I don't have an answer to your question. Do you have a
It
theory?
seemed like you were guessing there.
Do you have a theory?
I have no idea, but Billy lobbed that one at you, and like you were an expert, like you had the answers. I mean, it was a good guess. Proud of you for trying.
Nick Cannon, I sent Chris Cody something the other day because Nick Cannon was on television with his friends, and he did Chris Cody's trick of combining words together. Nick Cannon at this point is most famous, even as he pines still for Mariah Carey. He is most famous for being the Antonio Cromartie of the celebrity world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, host of The Masked Singer.
He has a great quarterback name, doesn't he? Nick Cannon.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
That's someone you send an offer to
Yes.
right away.
no doubt. Yep.
Von Miller appears to be a bit of a party animal. It was had positive tests that local radio stations reported as a Molly positive, and he spends an awful lot of time down here, which is never good. Always a big red flag. If your off-season home is in Miami, look out.
I tend to imagine that most of those menaces and rampages who simply can't be blocked late in life, that they're living big. That seems an outdated concept because I'm guessing the modern athlete has to be more careful with some of that stuff, not just because of bad publicity, but because they have to take care of their bodies so much. But that sport has so much self-medication. I can't believe that more people weren't learning yesterday and delighting in that Bruce Smith video of him, a comparable talent, going into a local news interview and hitting the floor so hard because he can't stand up from drinking during, what I'm assuming was after a game. And Stugotz, this is another thing. Ricky Williams talks about this, that back then people on the airplane, they just come up and down the aisles with Vicodins and painkillers, and they would just have a tray of happy pills in order to cure whatever ails you because you're either Von Miller or you're trying to block Von Miller, and that probably doesn't feel very good. But Von Miller has a decent amount of this, correct? He's got it's not just the offseason home in Miami. You're not just making it about him testing positive from a party at the beginning of the pandemic, are you? You're making it like he gets fined for farting in players-only meetings.
I mean, Von Miller likes to have a good time. Like I said, he hangs out down here in Miami a lot. He's very visible. A lot of people see him out having a very good time. He's friends with one of my friends, which I don't trust that friend, so don't be friends with that guy.
Wouldn't you guess that today's athlete is doing less of that? What do you imagine? I think a lot of people hang on to what some of the cliches are with athletes.
Well, why
right?
would you guess that? Just out of curiosity, why would you guess they're doing less of that now? Sorry about my voice.
God.
It takes an hour, Dan. It's allergy season. It takes an hour for it to get better. I'll be fine in about 45 minutes. Plus, my ear is clogged, and I can't unclog it. And I'm wondering if I won the $895 million. I have 50 tickets in my
You
pocket.
didn't.
How do you know?
Because it's 1 point something billion on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I had some of the numbers.
You don't know what the numbers were.
I saw a 7 in there and a 29, and I had 2 of them. So I'm just wondering.
I mean, it's serious when you see the 999s on the tote board or next to the highway. It's bad.
Apparently,
Jessica.
it's allergy season 3 out of the 4 seasons a year.
Yeah.
It
This
should
is
just
the worst
be,
one for me, though.
We shouldn't
I
just
mean,
refer to something as allergy season. We should only highlight when it's not allergy season. You just pulled out several tickets from your pocket.
I have 50 of them.
Well, none of them are a winner.
Well, I'm not so certain. The Mega Millions was last night. I went in, I bought the Powerball, and then she said, did you mean the Mega Millions? And she gave me a refund. Now, I am telling you, I have
a
3.
refund.
Well, she gave me a refund and then allowed me to buy the Mega
You
Million
don't
tickets.
unprint lottery tickets.
She did it for me.
I don't.
I'm telling you.
Okay, the first winning number was 7.
I have it.
Okay.
You have 7?
Hold
Yeah.
on.
Ta-da!
There's a 0 in front of it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
0,
That's
7.
how it
Still
works.
7.
Okay, so I have a 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep,
29.
I have that.
In the
On-
one that you have the 7?
Hold on. I have 4 7s.
Well, circle them.
Hold on a
Circle.
second. Hold on a
Circle them so we can
This
keep
is
track.
very exciting.
Yes, you
actually.
guys could have won $800 million, even though we know
could
he
be the
totally didn't because.
This could be
It
the
went up.
last time we ever see this man.
Yeah.
second. Well, we'll see.
What are you gonna do, Stugotz, if you win? Which you didn't, but if you do,
I don't know yet, Bill. I do have a 7 and 29.
wow, this is exciting.
In the same ticket. Because that's
Yes.
kind of that's a key. Okay.
Well, on the same page.
Yeah. Okay, that's
all
fine.
right.
That's okay. That's fine.
60.
I have that somewhere.
I don't think it works that you can consolidate like your 7
That's why you
tickets.
buy a lot. So that's why you need to get all the
I
numbers
do
on.
have a 60.
Yeah, that's fine.
On the same page.
Circle it.
All right, well,
Next number.
It's like connect the dots.
You're talking
It's-
about consolidating, and he's like, I have a 60 on my driver's license. Like,
Wait,
he's just
I have-
got
You just need all the numbers, Dan.
okay, I have a 7, I have a 29, and I have a 60.
All right, 63.
I have a 60. Oh, so close.
What was it?
62.
Oh, man,
I'm
hate when that
sorry.
happens.
Did you at least get the Megaplier, which was 15?
Well, no, we haven't gotten to that yet.
Hold on.
Yeah,
No 63.
66.
I do have that.
All
Okay,
right,
circle
all right.
that one.
Megaplier.
Wow, look at that. 4
Sounds
out
like
of 5.
something an OBGYN would use.
Did you get it?
29, 66.
Megaplier.
7.
Jessica, you were making an assortment of faces at Stugotz. Is this about the phlegm, or is it about the crumpled papers in the pocket? What is
There
it?
was just a lot going on just then, but it's all right. I gave him a message on his headset. He fixed the problem. We're good now.
So I don't have I don't have 63. I have 62.
Let's explore.
But I have the other 4 numbers. So
Well, and then the Mega Millions is 15, the number.
I do have my top 5
Oh
list,
wait,
Dan.
hold on. I have
You have the Megaplier?
Yeah, hold on.
Well, so at the very least, you want a
can't
free
write
ticket.
it in ink, Stugotz. You can't say I have it and you're writing it with your pen.
Well, he managed to get a refund from some. Just go to the same person and show them.
I have a 15.
Can we please explore what you
Damn,
plan?
you just missed it by 1.
I think you won.
You won something. If you get that many right, you won something. You're not going to go
and
away
you had a
empty-handed.
62. So
Does he have it on 2 different pieces of paper?
he held
though?
them 2 different
Nope.
pieces of paper.
Just
it
go-
matters? I mean,
Go show me you have all the numbers, and then you were off for 63 by 1, and maybe they'll just give you like 600 million.
Yeah, if you go to the person that gave you a refund, you might be able to pull this
Yeah.
off.
here's the key. You have to go to a random place. If you go to like a Shell or an Exxon, you're not going to win a thing.
I'm 100% with
I
you
went
on
to a
that.
7-Eleven. Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Because
deep.
nobody goes there.
No. I went deep into the heart of Coral Springs.
That's
like
important.
places I've never been.
That's
to.
very important.
But there might be a shell deep in the heart of
No,
Coral Springs.
no,
too.
no.
You always want to go to a place that's not around you, right? Because if you do win, it's made known where that winning ticket was sold, and they could figure out who won.
Huh.
So you want to go like 30, 40 minutes away from where you live. Sometimes maybe if you're close to state lines, go to a different state and buy the ticket elsewhere.
Right.
So then it can't be tracked back to you. Also, unrelated to this, but just because you mentioned 7-Eleven, I was at a Shell this weekend that sells Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I
you were
trust
in
that.
Miami.
That's
we have
a
Bitcoin
that's a
ATMs
Miami
everywhere.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Would you buy Bitcoin from a Shell station? And
I got my tape done using Bitcoin, my fiat wallet.
I want to explore what it is that Billy asked Stugotz, because as you go in there and you buy your tickets, and I don't know whether you're stopping in to just buy tickets, you're doing it while you get gas, you're doing it. I don't know how often.
Heaters.
I don't know how often you're doing it. I don't know if it's just because it's gotten close to $1 billion or now over $1 billion. But I want to know, as you walk in there with a spring in your step and clinically diagnosed by us with Dunning-Kruger that makes you think you're going to be the greatest at everything, you think you're going
It's Freddy Krueger.
to
It's a
do
fun.
to do what with your winnings? Like, what would you do if you won the lottery?
I'll take care of my family. I mean, generations of my family.
Someone
okay,
argue-
now you still have $600 million left.
Yeah,
So
take
you've
care.
established generational wealth.
Take care of the people who have worked very hard on this show. Would probably be one of the things I do. What else would I do? Padres plus 1.5 is certainly something I would do. Probably parlay it, a goof parlay with the Reds or something like that on the money line. What else would I do? Buy an NFL football team.
That's not enough.
You think you
Yeah.
you think you
No,
get
it's
past the approval process?
Probably not. I'll
Probably
buy
go
all
to
of
the
them.
NHL now.
Yeah, I'll buy the league. I mean, I own everything. That's it. WWE, they go small purchase there.
You can't buy a fourth of a team. You can't buy a fourth of the Broncos.
Sure you can.
Why
There-
not?
There are ownership
Who says?
groups.
You wouldn't get a majority stake in a team
for
for
600 million?
for-
Yeah, you would. Yeah, depending on how many investors you get on. Yeah. You'd be a lead investor.
Yeah.
The Broncos just went for $4.5 million.
$4.5
billion.
$4.5
That's a
billion,
fine.
excuse
Yeah.
But
me.
they have
Yeah.
a massive ownership
That means I
group.
could buy him like 800 times. I mean,
They have a massive ownership group. The way that it works is like, okay, I'm not going to put in $3 billion and then Condi, you put in $10 million. Like it's a huge conglomerate.
But the Walmart family is the lead ownership group, and I'm guessing they're not putting in $600 million.
Like
I'd
Chelsea-
buy Walmart.
Chelsea just sold to Todd Bowley. Todd Bowley didn't put in $1 billion, even though the sale price was well north of $2 billion. He didn't put in that kind of money. There was an investment firm behind this, and they decided Todd Bowley would be the face of it. That's how a lot of these things operate. Dan, I'm deeply embedded in ownership talk. I have a lot of group chats.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Does $600 million get you a majority stake of an NFL team? Jessica, are you ready to go with your top
think
five?
so.
You remember where you were sports moments of the last 3 years?
3 years was too narrow of a time frame, so we went back about 10 years with this list. But there's one outlier that was a while ago. The rest are probably within the last 5 years, I would say.
Or do we have outside looking in? Or
I
we
do.
just
I have outside looking in pretty much anything that happened during the Trump administration revolving around sports, including the Clemson cheeseburger White House fiasco.
That's my favorite thing from his presidency.
There were just too many things to choose from, so we put all of those in the OLI.
How about Mike Pence? Mike Pence walking out of the anthem
The Colts
at
game?
a Colts game, showing up only to walk out.
Yeah, there was the Megan Rapinoe. Like, there was a lot. There was a lot there, so we put that all in the OLI. Number 5, Dan, Tom Brenneman.
An excellent one.
Famous
Very good.
on-air apology. That was August 2020. We weren't really doing a lot in August 2020, so that one resonated for a while. And I think the sheer staying power of that meme is a testament to it making it on this list.
It is something that Hank Azaria wishes the Brockmire writers had written. It was they feel like they failed because what happened in real life was so much funnier than something that you can divine creatively. We will get the sound to that in a second and play it for you because it's majestic. Number 4.
Number 4, this one is our outlier. This one happened a while back, but I remember exactly where I was. I was in the dining hall when the Deadspin story dropped, and we found out Manti Te'o's girlfriend was actually a catfish.
That's a good one.
Netflix is coming out with a 2-part documentary on that. Are you interested?
I'm interested.
You feel like you've gotten the story already, though, right? Like you feel like the
There's
part of,
always more to the story, Dan.
I think with 10 years of hindsight, maybe we'll find out something new. Maybe there will be some like perspective on it. I know like at the time that it happened, catfishing wasn't a term that people knew, and now it is. So maybe with some hindsight, there will be a little bit of reflection. I don't know.
I'm guessing so. That's always the
hope so.
case. I'm guessing
I
it'll
do-
be if Manti Te'o is participating. My guess it will be a portrayal that shows you that a human being was harmed by being in the middle of that.
Yeah, which is what I've always like kind of thought. Like there was a lot of mean-spiritedness, and there still is a lot of mean-spiritedness around it, but it's all seems very sad to me. So I hope it's an honest reflection on what happened 10 years ago, but we shall see.
I'm always interested when we go back and revisit how poorly we behaved. This happened recently with Britney Spears on a number of fronts, where you can't go back and take back what the sport. I think it's one of the most popular sports we have anywhere in the world right now. Making fun of somebody, dragging somebody who's in the middle of scandal. Number 3.
Number 3, Rudy Gobert testing positive for coronavirus after he touched all the reporters' microphones. Same night Tom Hanks and his wife tested positive in Australia. We thought the world was crashing down around us, Dan.
I still dislike Rudy Gobert immensely. A lot of that got projected onto him, and I don't think I'm alone in this. I think the nation has an inordinate amount of hatred for Rudy Gobert. That is a tough word. It's a tough
It is,
allergy
yeah.
season.
Inordinate.
Yep. Attaboy.
I felt bad for him.
You'll be fine in an hour.
Yeah, what did Sedano argue? Suspend him for like
That's right.
He
Suspended.
did, yes.
for a season
Yes.
or something.
It was
Not
a
for a
difficult
game,
time. It was
for
a
a game.
difficult
Billy,
time.
I'm
We
kind of
still
with you.
am.
It could have been anyone, right? Because there were a lot of people who weren't taking it very seriously up until that point. That was the watershed moment where everyone was, in the sports world at least, was like, holy shit, he has COVID. we all might have COVID. Like, he was just in New York playing against the Knicks. I think the next day, my boyfriend was walking around New York, and he saw, I think, he saw 2 Knicks players on the sidewalk and like crossed the street because he was like, oh shit, they just played against Rudy Gobert. We saw Joe Harris at brunch like 3 days later. We were like, first of all, we probably shouldn't even be at brunch. Second of all, you definitely shouldn't be at brunch because you guys just got tested for COVID this morning. I'm positive of
and
it.
you play in the same league as Rudy Gobert.
It was like hugely dramatic for sports fans.
And we still thought that you could get COVID by touching microphones.
Well, Donovan Mitchell also tested positive, but we
did,
just all
yes.
assumed Rudy Gobert gave it to Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
we
he
don't
was
know
like
that to be
patient
the
zero
case.
for some reason.
It ruined their relationship. They didn't like each other all that much headed into it, and it totally nuked them. Even Donovan Mitchell hates Rudy Gobert because of what happened.
Well, the best part of it was that Rudy Gobert was not just someone who was aimlessly grabbing at microphones. He was sick. And it was non-COVID related illness, or we're trying to find tests. It was kind of embarrassing that the NBA even had access to testing when nobody else did.
That's true. And he was trying to be cheeky. That was what people resented him for. He was trying to be like cute, like, oh, what if I have COVID? He was like, and this is the end with Jonah Hill, where he's like, bang,
the
bang,
gun,
with the gun, like,
It's a tricky time, though.
bang, bang. But, you know.
This
That
is
changed
the
everything.
end. Felt like Hollywood just let those guys do whatever they
I
wanted to.
love that movie. We don't talk about
Kind
it
of
enough.
worked.
Number
Michael Cera.
no, I mean I'd let funny people do whatever they want to. Just give them a bunch of cameras and money and let them figure it out. Number 2.
Number 2, DeAndre Jordan.
Excellent.
That was a all-time
Yeah.
Twitter moment. Basically the genesis of NBA Twitter, I think, as we know it today.
That was the Clippers locking him inside of a house. Blake Griffin tweeting a photo of chairs barricading a door so DeAndre Jordan couldn't get out and run off with Mark Cuban. It's
right?
funny.
Yeah.
That is funny by itself. Everything that's happened since is funnier with DeAndre Jordan.
That was in 2016 too. I think summer 2016. So that was like kind of, you know, our last golden summer. Everything changed after that. The Cubs won the World Series in 2016, Dan, and everything that happened since.
Our
has been
last golden summer.
on
Number
a different timeline.
number 1.
Number 1 is Urban Meyer.
Who do we have to laugh at this season?
It's a good
I remember the DeAndre Jordan thing where Paul Pierce just put the picture of the emoji as instead of an actual emoji. He just Googled rocket emoji. You old fuck.